I made it so I didn't have an afternoon chunk of doing upload work. And now, if I want to get these collections up for Patreon, it's going to cost me sleep tonight or tomorrow morning. But, you know, what are you going to do? This is still, if it works out, it's still a better gig than most people get to do. And if it doesn't work out, I get to go and work from home still, so whatever. This is just going to look like dog shit, isn't it? I'm just not going to be able to... What a world. What a fucking world this is. What's going on with this? It like starts to send video. I wonder if it's a Steam setting. Audio, performance. Nothing wrong with performance. Capture, nope. Online, what's up here? Audio, capture, performance. Enable click-through, what's that? Settings. No tips, no feedback. Gaming features. Achievements, don't need it. Counts, don't need it. I'm just in the settings right now on my Steam shit. A real bummer, you know? I really wish. Now, here's something I guess I could do as a hack. We could do a display capture, because that's what it seems to want to do anyway. So let me delete this window capture, first of all. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe I have to delete it and recreate it. Because maybe it just broke the first time somehow. Is it remove? Is it? There it is. That. What else did I try to play? Some Bomber, Cyberpunk, but that didn't work either. Let's try making a new window capture. Oh, wait, hang on. Let's try game capture. Maybe this will work better. Capture any full screen application. Yes. Let's try that option. Maybe this will work. Windowed, exclusive full screen, apply. So now we're in full screen over there. Capture any full screen application. Is it gone? Allow transparency, limit capture frame rate, capture cursor, anti-cheat compatibility hook. Hey, I think we might be up. I think we might be up now. We might have did it. We might have N-word, we made it. What do you think? Let's find out together. Let's see. If I go in here and I go click between things, latency 3 experience, we're going to have flashing VFX. We're not going to disable blood. We're going to have the screen shake. We're going to get it in. We're going to get it the fuck in. Now you're all gone, of course, you know. Because who wants to watch somebody fumble? Here's the thing, though. I see people like that are here, even though the user count says 0. That's always been like so weird to me. I wish that the number would just tell me the truth about who's actually here. Because when I see a 0, it makes me feel a little down. But then right next to the 0 at the top of the screen, I can see y'all are actually here. Let me go to my options. Make sure I have some audio. Let's go get some music here. Some sounds, some music. Nothing too loud. It's something. Yeah. Make sure that's saved. Cool. Let's go to start. Let's start with like the default. Actually, you know who I like is Imelda because the magic wand is dope. Let's see if we just do a little warm up in the Mad Forest. How it sounds. Do we have sounds? I don't hear sounds. Do y'all hear sounds? I don't hear sounds. Hang on a second. Let me fix this. I think it's fixable. Let's go in here. Close out my sound stuff. That's odd that the second I closed out of my sound management. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right. Okay. Now I'm in brighter spirits, y'all. Here's the other thing. I don't need the negativity of this camcorder being all off center, but also I need to turn it toward me where it is. Okay. See that? Nope. There's a duck bill in the front of it now. Oh dear Lord. What have I done? I've lost my special camcorder spot. We're gonna have to go ahead and shim under the camcorder. I prefer post-it notes to shim under a camcorder when I need to, just to pop it up a bit, and we can turn it It's where I'm actually sitting. Something like this. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it should. Shouldn't it be? It doesn't have to be, but shouldn't it be perfect? Don't we deserve perfect once in a while? Let's go and kill some stuff. Let's survive some fucking vampires, yeah? Checking my angles, checking my sight lines. Here's something else that I've noticed. And I'm going to be nitpicky because we're just getting started. I'm going to go into RGB. We can darken this light. My head can be a little bit redder. And look how much vibier it gets in this room at that point. Isn't that interesting? To me, it's interesting. You don't have to be interested. I'm deeply fucking interested. We're going to go ahead and hop this back on the screen for posterity. In the sense that I will be showing my posterior. Yeah. Oh yeah, what was the other thing I forgot? I had to remind people. I gotta tell people to go to my YouTube. Let's do that real quick. YouTube. Third person. Like and subscribe. LOL. Pop that right here. Barely readable, but it is readable. I think if I can get it even closer, poke the bear on this. Let's go ahead and put the Sharpie under the Post-it. So the top part of the Post-it stays right where it is, making a small ramp. That makes all the difference in the world. Does not block the bottom of my face in the overlay. This is how donuts get made, folks. I don't know what to tell you. Turn the overhead light up just a twinge. Just a twinge. To isolate what's happening on the pad there. This is how it's done. That's how I do it anyway. I think I do it in a cool way. Alright, I want more magic wand. Double up on the wand right off the bat. It's good to have a couple of strong weapons early in this game. Scoot myself back so you can see my part of my head with like a slant. Looks like I just got hit in the head with an axe. I don't want to spoil a horror movie, but I'm thinking about a creepy guy in a wolf mask right now. Alrighty. So, one thing I wonder too is that, like, are each of these bats canonically a vampire? Like, is the very first part of the first level that I'm just being attacked by bats? Or are these all, like, humans? Like, am I killing Laszlos here? Just weak Laszlos. You know? Bat! I don't know for sure. Now, do I want speed? Do I want faster projectiles? Do I want the the duplicator would be nice. Then I'm shooting twice as many things out of the magic wand. So now I got, like, basically a little Uzi situation going. And I'm going to try to keep my friends close and that little glowy bat closer because he is holding a secret to another upgrade. If I can do away with him. So the magic wand shoots the closest enemy, so I want to make sure that the closest enemy is this strong bat. Even at the risk of some of my health. Now, he just dropped a red gem. I'm going to upgrade super quick off of that. But I got to not get eaten by these increasingly beefy enemies. Fun thing about this game is that you're constantly racing against time, right? Like, they get stronger and more numerous as the clock hits certain milestones. I think 60 seconds is one of those milestones. Let's fire one more projectile. See, now at this point, just that extra projectile, that might help turn the tide. But I'm going to circle this cluster of enemies and chip away at them while taking care of these gems. And that's just kind of that's going to be my movement strategy. Sometimes we'll switch from like a counterclockwise to a clockwise. Those big clusters of bats are great, but only if I have like an area damage, like close range type weaponry happening. Yeah, I love these visualizers, because like then when I talk, they do stuff. I think it's super neat. I think if I get the attract orb, I can get more gems faster and I'll level up quicker. Bats! They just chewed me apart, right? Because like this wand is not the best for this by itself. I probably should have grabbed that Bible early on, because the Bible would have given me the ability to kind of stand in place, do a lot of damage in one spot, and then each of those bats in those clusters could have become experience for me to level up faster. But it's not really a huge deal yet. Once we get to 5 minutes, it'll start getting really scary. So I'll need some more than what I've just got. I guess let's go with Rune Tracer. Because then when armor comes up again, I can grab some armor. These weapons all synergize with your defensive items that you can pick up. So if you get the right defensive item to match with the right weapon, then eventually, so for example, I've got the Attract Orb. If I get this Santa Water, then eventually my Holy Water is going to upgrade to really powerful Holy Water. Basically like little disco death circles for the enemies that I can stand in. They'll be much bigger than this little flurry eventually. So you're constantly trying to survive. That's like rule number one, because as long as you're not dead, you're moving forward. But you're also trying to anticipate like end game conditions. I might get that Holy Bible back because it showed up in like early. So I'm gonna go with Spellbinder. Spellbinder increases the duration of things like this Rune Tracer, so like it'll stay on the screen about 10% longer right now. That's helpful. Even more helpful is when I get the Holy Bibles out and it synergizes with the Spellbinder, and then eventually I get the Unholy Book, which like spins way faster and does more stuff. Recovering health over time is always good, plus that synergizes with Garlic, which I almost always pick up in the Mad Forest. Let's see what we got here. Big treasure chest. Oh, heck yeah. 2 water upgrades and a Rune Tracer upgrade off that level up. Not bad. Let's go wand. More wand shots. Basically, I'm just shooting stuff all over the screen now. You can see I'm keeping the enemies a little bit more at bay, even as they're getting stronger and more resilient. But there will be a really, really hard difficulty spike coming up in a second. I'm going to get enclosed by plants. And when I get enclosed by plants, I'm going to have to be really nimble on my feet. Careful to protect my health, because they can chew through you really quick. It's a Little Shop of Horrors type scenario. And it's not for the faint of heart. There's my Garlic. Empty Tome would have been good too for the Magic Wand, but Magic Wand I'm not as concerned about late game as stuff like this Garlic, which creates this little green circle around me, and then I'm doing damage to anything that steps in the circle, so I don't have to move quite as fast. When things get close to me is actually when they're in the most danger of all. Because the wand focuses on them, and the Garlic is also eating at them. Let's see. Damage up on the wand, or more range for pickup. I'm going to go with more pickup range, because that means I can grab these gems without even having to be that close to them at all. Which means I'm leveling up faster. You always want to be leveling up fast. Always be leveling. It's a lot like when you play like an Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and you can get under-leveled for an area pretty quick, or you can level your character wrong, and then they can't do anything to you. So these two things synergize, the Candelabra Door and the Axe. I'm going to stick with strengthening some of the first things that I grabbed, because it's possible to go into a fight with like 6 butter knives instead of 1 hunting knife, and you'd rather have the 1 hunting knife. So I want to make sure that these existing weapons and skills that I have are strong before I go spreading out more. After the 10-minute mark, I believe, is when I get the pinnacle weapon options. Here's the flowers enclosing me. I'm going to get really close to some of them so that the magic wand can work the body like Rocky. They're really staminacious. So I'm just going to stand still and outplay them. These little, like, walky, creepy things are really tough. These mantises in the distance are tough, too. I got armor, though. That's nice. Armor's dope, because they won't eat my health as fast. This mantis is going to give me a treasure chest if I kill it. So now I'm working the mantis instead. These flowers will disperse. There they go. Flowers are just meant to, like, wall you in. Okay. Give me a big upgrade, not just one thing. Okay, it's going to be just one thing. That's how it goes. Sometimes that's how it goes. There's nothing we can do about it. We just got to deal with it. And then we relax. And that's fine. Alright, so now let's go back to where I was. Grab some of these gems. Don't need the chicken. Good to know the chicken is here. Just let the floor chicken be floor chicken. I think it's canonically called floor chicken in this game, too. It's a very genre-savvy game. There's a lot of imitators of this that you can get on mobile nowadays. But I still think this is like the one. More attraction. I wish my garlic was a little stronger so that I didn't have to like stick and move as much. I could just wait for them to break against my garlic waves. But still, the way I'm picking up these gems just by kind of being in the same room as them, that's super helpful. I'm going to level again. Pentagram's cool because it clears the level, but you gotta like be careful because it can mess up your ability to get experience. I'm just gonna keep juicing this wand because I know that after 10 minutes I'll be able to fully upgrade it. But I have to get the red book first, which is the empty tome, or else I'm not gonna be able to level the wand. So at this point, like now, as I look down at the skill thing, I only have one skill slot left. You can see that in the top left corner of the screen there. And I don't want to waste it on something that is not the empty tome, or else all these levels that I'm putting into the wand are going to end up having a much lower ceiling than they could in terms of efficacy in this run. And that's how this game works. I'm sure you've seen it before. It's been viral for like 2 years, right? Everybody plays Vampire Survivors. Right? Right? Let's strengthen that garlic like I mentioned. That's what I want. Bigger and hardier. Now see those bats? They break against the garlic. So every time a big swarm of bats comes, I don't have to be afraid anymore. I can just eat off of them. That's a good feeling. Let's upgrade the Pomerella so I keep on getting my health back nice and quick. Let's let this master bat expend itself when it gets too close to me. Like Sting. Don't stand so... That's kind of a double entendre because Dio has a stand, and he's a vampire that Jojo has to survive. Alright, let's go with this Rune Tracer because I've got armor. Still on the lookout for that empty tome to hit. That little item I get means that I get to pick up every gem that I've left on the field so far, which is usually a free level. Not this time. But close to it. Oh dear. This kind of sucks. I'm going to have to take the Clock Lancet, because it's the only thing that's not like a help item. Later on, as I play more runs of this, I can spend the gold coins that I win on re-rolls. And that's a really important part of the game mechanic, like eventually when you buy the re-rolls, that you can shop around for what it is that you want. If you're commenting at me right now on TikTok, there's 0% chance I'm going to see it. I can glance over out of the corner of my eye, and I can see if somebody's chatting in the YouTube chat, though. So that would be the move, for sure. There's armor. Somebody texted me. I don't know if it hit my phone or not. I don't think it did. So now I'm just trying to kill everybody in these hordes as fast as I can for the experience. When they turn blue, they're frozen in time. That's what the Clock Lancet does. Clock Lancet is a very important item for some like end game like strategies in certain levels. At the end of the time that you get in a survivor run, death self comes and gets you. But if you have the Clock Lancet maxed out and a couple of other items too, then it's possible to survive almost indefinitely after the end of the time. Even with death running up on you. Because you've got death frozen in time, and then you've also buffed your health a lot with some hidden items that you find later on. So right now I'm tracking where the Clock Lancet is freezing enemies, and I'm going to use it to beat a path upward and to the left. Because I'm not yet strong enough to kill these bats really easily. So I'm just going to like power through them to get back to these gems in this chest. There's the Bible I wanted. I'll take it. At this point, I'm almost close to having defined what the weaponry for my run is going to be, and we're almost at the 10-minute mark, so everything's kind of happening right on time. Lancet Garlic Armor, not bad. I'll take a red book, please, next time I level up, please. Pretty please. Give me the empty tome. I saw the enemies and sent them home. And all I'm lacking is an empty tome, oh yeah. Just smacking the crap out of this mantis as much as possible, so I can try to get another treasure chest. Treasure chests will upgrade something that you've already got. When you level through gems, that's when you have the opportunity to get a new item or weapon. I'm going to probably pause this game right now just to see what these texts are that are coming in. This is why I keep the iPad on me. Because it could be my partner upstairs and maybe she needs help. I'd be a bad partner if I prioritized streaming over checking on that. Oh, hold up. Hold up. It is a text. What does it say? It's a GIF. I'm betting my kid woke up right after I came down here to do the stream and bugged my partner while she was at the meeting that she was supposed to be at. Because I guess our schedules are incompatible. Right now, there's so much stuff to work out. I think there's I honestly do think that a lot of streamers are just forever alone type people. That they don't actually have families to take care of. They don't actually have responsibilities, needs, schedules. And maybe I'm just setting my bar for streaming availability and time and polish way too high. I'm trying to play the game of a 25-year-old with no commitments. I don't see a wedding ring on Hassan's finger, you know? I can't be doing this 8 hours a day. I feel like I can barely do it 3 hours a day. Also, if you're watching this right now and you're not subscribed to my Patreon, I would just gently ask why, you know? It's one of the best Patreons you could get on because I'm always making new stuff. I'm writing about how I make stuff. There's a Discord community that you can join. There's a huge backlog of music that I've put out and uploaded even before it ever got onto Bandcamp. So there's unreleased versions, finalized versions of things, and new stuff coming out every week. I don't know if I'll find this empty tome. I've got a spot for it, but we'll see if I find it. It's not going to be in here. This will probably be more Santa water. Ebnems, though. Harmer. Give me a tome. Spellbinder. Good for the Bible. It's the Spellbinder. Give me that red gem. I'm not going to get the empty tome. It feels like I'll never find it. More garlic, though. The enemies are getting closer by. These rune tracers are great because they go and deal damage far away from me, while the garlic deals damage close up. And so it's really just a matter of moving to the nearest gems to level fastest. Wand, give me tome, give me tome. I guess my favorite R&B band would be Tommy Tommy Tome. It's a Bible upgrade, get more Bibles, and because I have the duplicator, there's even more Bibles. If I had gotten the lightning ring, that would have synergized with the duplicator. There's the empty tome. Now I actually have a good chance that my next treasure chest will upgrade my magic wand into I think it's called the Holy Wand, but I don't remember. A lot of evil vanquishing shit. Werewolves on me now. They could be of London, they could just be of here. I don't know where they're from. I don't check their passports. I'm not a cop. I'm a vampire survivor, not a vampire cop. You know? It's still ACAB even here. These are weapons of the Inquisition, but I am not an Inquisitor. You see what I'm saying? There's a distinction to be made there. A lot of times people think that if you use a weapon that a bad person uses, it makes you bad. But that's silly. Because if somebody was creeping into your house with a baseball bat, you'd be allowed to defend yourself with a baseball bat. You know? Or say if the GOP was planning on using a lot of parliamentary loopholes to cement its power for multiple generations, and the Democrats decided to do that to stop the GOP from doing that, they wouldn't be bad on the Democrats' part. It doesn't make them evil. It doesn't mean that you lack morality as a Democrat. Morality does not mean refusing to use weapons that are available to you because you think it means that you're playing unfairly. That's actually the textbook fucking definition of scrub mentality when you do that, right? Oh, this person who annoys me in Destiny is using shotguns. I'm not going to use any shotguns. And therefore, even if I lose this fight, at least I'm not a filthy shotgun ape. People say that. They really say it and they really believe it. And their kill-death ratio proves it. And their win-loss ratio proves it. They don't actually want to play a metagame. They don't actually want to... I think Democrats don't even want to admit that there is a metagame. When they're in power and they have to wield power, they act like playing the game on a meta level is heresy. And then when they're out of power, they explain that it's impossible for them to do any real obstruction because the Republicans have played the metagame so well. And we're just kind of left holding the bag, and maybe if we fundraise and vote hard enough, it'll change. I'm 38 years old, and the choices have actually gotten worse every election. Maybe Obama was a little better than Kerry. Maybe a little better. But Kerry was definitely a party's attempt to like say, no, we can warmonger too. We could do a military thing. We could change horses midstream. Kerry will get into Iraq and fuck those brown people up. I remember one of the first Rolling Stones that I ever got in my lifetime subscription had John Kerry on the cover. That was 2004. Late summer. I think it was like a month or two before the election. I do have a lifetime subscription to Rolling Stone magazine, by the way. It's a quirk about me that I like to share during icebreaker moments sometimes in workplaces. I paid $99 in 2004 for a lifetime subscription to Rolling Stone magazine. They say that it's even transferable pending proof of reincarnation, which was a funny thing in the copy, but who knows what happens in the future. Maybe that extends to like if my likeness is implanted into some terrible Black Mirror robot after I die. And I wouldn't consent to that, but at least I'd be able to read more Rolling Stone. If we break it down, it's been almost 20 years that I've had Rolling Stone. This is going to be a cool glow up. I've already glowed up the wand. Now help me glow up my Santa water, please. Ooh, the Rune Tracer's even better. Hell yeah, the no future. Now these little bouncy things go faster. Pew, 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 and they blast through things, got these green lasers. Bats all over the screen. So yeah, I've had Rolling Stone for almost 20 years, showing up every 2 weeks at my house. I paid $100 one time. The subscription technically paid for itself sometime around the middle of Obama's first term. And I've still got it. I just got an issue yesterday. I barely read them anymore. I read like 2 album reviews. There's usually like one bit of in-depth reporting that's kind of good. And then there's like the beginning, like the letters section. What's happening in music now? What artists to watch now? I'm just trying to keep my finger kind of on the pulse of what's mainstream popular at all times, even into my late 30s. Because I don't want to be one of those people that gets old and then is like, you know what good music is? It's whatever was there when I was 17. End of list. I feel like that's it's an abdication of your responsibility as a music fan to just decide, I am done learning about new music now. And I think you do have responsibilities as a music fan. Of course I do. That's part of the sales pitch. I'm over on Bandcamp, thirdperson.bandcamp.com, as an indie artist. You buying my music helps me put food on the table for my family on a week-by-week, month-by-month basis. And it encourages me to continue to not rest on my laurels, but always be working on new projects, releasing new music. Oh, cool, we're in gold mode right now. This is sick. See if I can go and blast a couple more torches to stay in this gold bonus mode. Running at a diagonal is a good way to blast torches, and then you get more, hopefully, of the same coin bonus thing. It happens. Yeah, there we go. Coin bag. Next torch, please. Oops, got caught on a tree. Coin bag. The attract orb's really helping with this coin bag getting. Clock Lancet lets me move a little faster. I'm going to lose it. Losing the bonus. Oh well. It was good while it lasted. I got a couple hundred gold, and I can go back and get this treasure chest now. But yeah, I do make music. When you see me doing TikToks and I'm talking over a beat, the beat that I'm talking over is a beat that I wrote. And a lot of times nowadays, just because we're living in these really fucking dire times, I'm not putting a lot of music under a lot of stuff that I do because I just want to get a thought down and get it out there. If I was somebody else looking at me from the outside, I'd be like, yo, you're showing signs of burnout. You got to really slow it down and simplify what you're doing. Maybe stop doing like an open YouTube stream on Monday. Maybe just do a second Twitch stream. Maybe I'll take my own advice next week, but I scheduled this one. I wonder if there's a way to do an unlisted Twitch stream that you need like a code or a password to watch. Maybe I'll do everything on Twitch. I'm so torn, you know? It's hard for me to decide. There's the cool water, La Borra. Now this water comes in and it creates these like circles of circles around me. So I've got the garlic, I've got the Bibles, and I've got La Borra. I could probably just stick around right here. Let these baddies come to me. We're 20 minutes in. There's another 10 minutes to survive before death comes for us all. At this point, I could probably even start just like moving in a beeline northward. Which sometimes you find a nice surprise that way. We'll see. Man, it looks so wavy on the screen too, with the visualizer on the overlay. I'm really glad I figured out to do game capture and not window capture in OBS. That was just rookie moves on my part that I couldn't figure it out at first. And in the process, I got my graphics card updated. This is the moment that I live for in terms of streaming, honestly. Like, there's always a point, it's always about an hour in, where I finally, like, hit a stride, hit some sort of rhythm, and then, like, things just feel good. I'm in the moment. It doesn't matter how many people are watching. I'm enjoying myself playing a game. I know that things are working. I know that people can see me and hear me if they want to. And if they want to chat, hey, what's up? Nice to see you. Yeah, let me do this real quick. It does say Twitch, doesn't it? My bad. I apologize. Let me change up the TikTok. I appreciate the support. Yeah, when I was setting up the TikTok live, I did say YouTube third person, but there's a weird thing with the UI. I'll be right back, TikTok. There's a weird thing with the UI where when you're setting up a live stream and you go to rename the thing that it says for the live, and then you go to change the category without clicking out of where you were. But that's weird. This says YouTube third person, Gaming Vampire Survivors, go live. So now it says YouTube. But yeah, there is that glitch where there's that little lag time. Here we go. Yeah, they really don't mind losing. They make money when they lose. They make money when they lose and they get notoriety when they win. We have to mind losing because like they sit there and they go, look, I'll have a cushy job no matter what. You might lose yours. I'll get to stay here if I want no matter what. You might get deported. You might be made to move across state lines because of who you are. But I'm a public figure. They're not going to do that to me specifically. But watch, you know. We know how this goes historically. The appeasement only gets you so far. Then eventually the people you've been appeasing are like, oh no, you were just later on our list. You were never not on the list. I'm sorry if you got that misconception. But they'll disabuse Dem Party leadership of those misconceptions if things get bad enough. Which is why there's just so much irony in them not wanting to do more things to earn votes. And they act like just voting for them is the morally correct thing to do, so you should do it. But like, every time they try to do anything with the GOP, they compromise with them. And then you go, why did you compromise with them? And they go, because that's just politics. The nature of politics is compromise, which is understandable, right? But then they don't want to compromise with parts of their voter base that hold the vote as the negotiating chip. They go, no, you can't, we're not going to compromise with you. You have to give us your vote and expect nothing in return. Or else we're not going to do anything for you but these increasingly worse compromises. And then we'll also send not even good, like they don't even really use writers that much anymore. They write a couple of articles to like set the tone. But so much of the conversation around politics now just is like a whole bunch of like people that feel embarrassed because they donated to Georgia in 2020 for the runoff and they were told that 50 plus Kamala was going to get so much stuff done. And then when it doesn't, it's like they went to the P.T. Barnum exhibit and they went through the door looking for the magnificent egress and they found themselves locked out and they're like, ah, shit. Well, I'm not going to be the last one that gets fooled by this. I better tell other people to go through the same door. Hey, check out that egress plan that the Dems are doing. I hear it's really good. If you don't do it, actually, you're kind of a dork. They create shame around not making the same electoral mistakes that they made, which disempowered them. And then they act like disempowerment is just the natural state of affairs, the necessary status quo. You can't change it, you know? Yeah, it's like I wish that the Dems were inconsistent, but they do seem very like Republicans seem inconsistent until you realize that they have an in-group that they care about and an out-group that they don't care about, and they're 100% consistent in that all of the rules that they pass privilege the in-group and punish the out-group. And I think Democrats are 100% consistent in that they don't want to wield power, but they do want to wield influence, because influence is safer and less risky than power. And it's confused for power by a lot of people. So influence gets you almost as far as power, but there's not as much downside to it. Because if you actually have the power, then you're accountable for when like the power is wielded irresponsibly. But if you give the other party the power, just literally like hand it to them on a platter sometimes. Hillary didn't campaign in Wisconsin. Gore didn't win his own home state in 2000. You give other people the power, and then you're able to say, okay, look at all these bad things that they're doing. I would do so much better. Then you're wielding influence. Then you actually sometimes get yourself into power because you have to keep the kayfabe going. But then it's fine, because part of the influence that you've peddled involves this notion that there's such a thing as a moral victory. That by not winning, you're actually kind of winning by being morally better than the side that keeps winning all the time. And therefore, when you're in power, to win is actually just a form of rudeness. And why would you expect that from us, voter? Why would you expect us to be so rude as to, like, win power and use it? That seems like running up the score. That's gross. We hate it when they do it. Why would we do it? Why would we give people health care, you know? That would just be like the same as on the other side when people took the names of people who were in the DREAM program and got all those spreadsheets and used them to hunt down and try to deport families. It's the same, right? If we did universal health care, we'd be overstepping just like they overstepped. Qualitative differences. The party of moral victory makes no moral distinction between playing political hardball for the good of people and playing political hardball to marginalize and rule by a minority. Which sucks. I don't know what to do about it. I'm just venting and surviving vampires for 7 more minutes before this run is over. And then I'm going to hop upstairs because my partner sent me a I Am a Hero Michael Scott gif. And I want to make sure that she feels seen and appreciated. It might even be like the end of the stream. I might come down and just say, yep, I'm all set. I'll catch you tomorrow. But we'll see how it goes. Hey, I did get the Unholy Book. Now I got this like Zone of Death. The garlic is maxed out. The book is maxed out. Rune Tracer's maxed out. Magic Wand is maxed out. Santa Water's maxed out. Got the Clock Lancet, which isn't really going to be synergizable with the stuff at this stage in the game that I'm playing, but it's helping me to survive to the end by freezing the enemies periodically. And then the Duplicator, which also doesn't synergize with its weapon counterpart, is doing me the favor of making there be more things on the screen for me to throw at these enemies. So now I'm just going to rake up a lot of extra gold, which is going to help me to level up my character in between runs. And then the next run is going to be even easier for me to start up and get off the ground, because my character's base stats will be boosted. I'll have, maybe more projectiles to start with, etc. It's a good gameplay flow. And it's like still $5 in the Steam store. I think it's like $8 if you get it with the expansion and the soundtrack. I love when a game is something that you buy one time and then you have it. And then sometimes an expansion comes out and you buy that and you have it, but it's not like as a service. It's not like a free-to-play, pay-to-win, where the microtransactions never end. It's weird that like when people talked about old school games when I was younger, they were talking about a game that didn't have like save points or checkpoints. Like a game that's arguably poorly and inaccessibly designed to cause you to have to like perform at your peak for 20 to 30 minute chunks on end in order to see more game at all. The old Ninja Turtle beat 'em up games are good examples of that dynamic. Real old school Nintendo hard, I think, is a synonym for that kind of difficulty. But now, old school can simply mean game that you buy and then have. Destiny 2, definitely not an old school game, right? Because you have to pay a service fee just to be on the network correctly, right? You have to pay for your PlayStation Network just to do things that aren't one player in the game. I don't mind games as a service, you know, let the devs get their money. But also the fact that games like this exist and do just fine. Like, you can open a store and you can sell stuff and that's fine. Like, as an artist, I can make some passive income from Spotify just by reminding people that I have a Spotify that's third person or an Apple Music that's third person. But if I get frustrated with Spotify because in 2024 they're not going to pay out monthly on any song that would pay you less than 5 cents, and that was actually how most of my songs on Instrumental Zero performed just this last paycheck. I went and looked at my receipts from the payout, and most of the tracks, there's like 42 tracks that would have paid me like 4 cents a piece. So that's like $1. It's not a ton. But let's say that like, 5-10 years from now, I have 420 tracks that are paying that. Now all of a sudden, like, we're close to like, that's the difference between like eating at home and eating out maybe once a month. And Spotify wants to just like kind of scoop that up and go, nah, that's not yours. That's for whoever we ordain in our lottery for who needs to be popular on our service. We're going to reward the popularist person with some of the 5 cents that we don't pay unpopular people on Spotify. It really sucks too because like I know people who really struggle to get streams and plays and visibility on Spotify. I'm not in that crowd usually because I market super hard when I want to market stuff, and I'm good at it because both of my parents were marketers. They taught me stuff like on car rides to school, shitty little aphorisms they'd say to me about, it's just as much about saying who you're against as who you're for. People really respond strongly to that. A brand is about more than a logo. It's about how you connect with your customer and what they can expect from you. People expect candor and visible effort from me, and constant improvement over time. And also they expect to be surprised and delighted occasionally by a skill that maybe they had forgotten that I had. I was writing some nice poems for the Patreon recently. I gotta do some more writing. I don't think I did any writing yesterday because it was a very food preppy, watch some football, eat some wings, eat some macaroni and cheese, make some chili. Been cooking a lot. Got a lot of chili left over for the week. I've been dipping chips in it. It's been glorious. My sister gave me her old Instant Pot, so now I can take a pound of beans and turn it into a cooked pound of beans in less than an hour. That's huge. Going from dry to cooked beans, being able to store a bunch of dry beans in the pantry and know that's meals, that's going to be key to this whole career shift. If I hope to make this my actual job, having dry beans that I can cook, that's important. That's more important than ramen, actually, because ramen doesn't contain a lot of protein like that. Beans are the move. We're almost there at the end of this run. We're at 27 minutes, 36 seconds. So I got a little more time here to just kind of level up as many times as I can, get money as quick as I can, fight through these hordes, scoop up stuff that I've missed, maybe try to grab torches, see if the torch has a special item that's going to attract orb everything from the level to me. Maybe grab some more coins over here. Where's another torch down here? Let's see. Just kind of drawing one big circle for the final 2 minutes. Now, as you can see, these bats that were so hard to kill at the beginning of the game are now just the mundane enemy that you face, which is a wonderful bit of game design. It really showcases that, like, the designers want you to feel much more powerful at the end than you were at the beginning. Because these are all afterthought enemies. There's the 2 text dings. And I know my partner has forgotten I'm supposed to be streaming right now. And that's okay. We'll get it synced up with communication and time. Like, I know on the 16th I'm not going to be able to stream at all, because that's like a heavy medical appointment day for her. And so we're going to be doing other things that day, and I'm not going to be doing like the Thursday stuff like I normally would. It's not Thursday though on the 16th though, is it? I think it might be. 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's going to be next Thursday. It's tough for me to not like sniff my own farts and go like, oh yeah, Thursday, it's my special day, because it says Thursday and I created branding around it. It's similar to the sound of my stage name. But in real life, some Thursdays are just Thursdays. And I gotta be there for the fam. That's how it goes. Hey Francis, how's it going? I'm just chatting with y'all. I'm not really looking over at the YouTube chat as much because I'm very enthralled in this survival run. I think this is the first time on the computer that I've made it all the way to 30 minutes. I've been really like, I've been Johnny Knishin my way through the early stages of Vampire Survivors metagame. And now I feel like I've finally hit a point of being able to style on him at the end. I'm gonna end this run with like 6,500 coins. Maybe even a few more. They can't touch me. Here comes death, though. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm dead. Oh, but wait, the Lancet. Maybe I can circle him a little bit longer. Oh, there he goes. He ate me up. Ate me right up. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, we're just chillaxing today, mostly. That's the idea. Let me see what's going on with this text situation. Alright, hang on a sec. Yeah, I'm gonna go up and say hey to my partner for a minute before she goes to sleep. She's feeling very exhausted and very tired. So I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll hop off of this. Maybe we'll just alt-tab out of it. I'll put on some beat or other so you can listen to something while I'm gone, and then I'll be back in a few. I'll put on something that loops, something energetic, something that people have remarked on the stream that they've enjoyed before, and something that I've created in the last 6 months or fewer. And that's going to be Spasm 95. Open, scroll down to the Z's. Oh dear, we're going to scroll down to the Z's. But above all the folders, which are also alphabetized, and... Oh, are we going by date? That makes sense to go by date, but I hadn't expected it. Hold up, there we are. Got the keyboard plugged in, but I can control all this software with buttons. Alright, I'll be back. See you soon. Yeah. Alright. Back at it. Back in the chair. I wonder where if there's a play stop button on this device. Nah. A little too much computer in this beat, so when I finalize it for the next instrumentals tape, that'll be one of the first things I go after. But in any case, hit the space bar. Now I know my partner's safely in bed, safe and sound. Pop on the pink hat, see how this looks in here. Not bad. Never bad. Nice to see you. Yeah, Partner. Almost looks like Palantir. Welcome to Partner Industries. So I think click this down. Makes it clear that you can watch me on YouTube without having to like look through all the bullshit on TikTok. Then maybe shorten this shit here. Easier to see this part of the screen. Playing. Just trying to get the TikTok vibe exactly right for people that don't want to come all the way over. I can still check my sound, still see that that's working. We'll have the little visualizer sitting right there. Yeah. Looks super dope. My TikTok live stream aesthetic right now is enviable. I'm proud of it because I've taken my fucking time with it, you know? Gotta get this back up top. Go over here to this. Yes. Done. I just unlocked somebody else. Let's go to the shop. Unlocks. Not unlocks. Collection. Not collection. Power up. It was right in the middle. So yeah, buying some of this stuff is going to help my characters get stronger. I've already bought some of the stuff. Let's get some might. Super helpful. Probably max might. Probably, ooh, a mount. A mount's expensive, but having an extra shot of everything is super nice. Having an extra revival if you make a mistake is nice. Curse is more like if you want to buff the difficulty for later. Health and armor, always good. Can I do armor and a mount? That's what we're going to do. So now when we start, we'll have a little bit buffer of a character, you know? Have a little bit easier of a time getting through it. So who do I want to be? Cavallo's an interesting character. He's got this little, like, barrel bomb thing. Don Mario's slow as shit, but he starts with a Bible, which is strong. Excuse me. Poe is, like, really, really weak. Like, weak as shit. But he starts with the garlic, which is great. I think I want to be... I guess I could buy some of these characters, too. I wanted to switch it up. So maybe the next thing I'll do is, like, save up gold to buy more characters. But I'm going to be Poe. I like Poe a lot. Let's go to a different level than the first one. Let's go to the second one. This is a tricky one for Poe because it's a very movement-based level, and his movement speed is slow. So I think my strategy is going to be to try to like get the garlic leveled up early, so I can try to tank through some of these folks, rather than let them explode. Like all these guys. All right, and maybe this run, let's get a cross. I'm going for variety for the viewer's sake, as opposed to what my favorite things are. Crosses are great. They go short in one direction, and then they boomerang back and go the entire other direction. Let's get axes. They level their damage quickly. If I stay toward the top, the axes go downward, so they'll do more damage on more enemies. And then I'll try to kind of stay in place here and get gems. So I want to invest in all of these things all at once. Hollow Heart goes with the whip. Let's see if I can find a whip. I don't want to commit to too many weapons too early, so I'm just sticking with the 3 weapons. That's why I grabbed the item instead, or the whatever they call it. More garlic. That's what I wanted when I first started playing. Cool. Axes will eat through these dudes. Garlic's strong enough to take care of them without having to, like, maneuver around them in an S-shaped motion, which is nice. A lot of times that's what you end up doing in the library. I know if I go far enough in one direction, I will find some items, like, nestled in the bookshelves. So I'm going to start navigating eastward. We'll buff the axe. If I can get the candelabra door, which matches with the axe, then I'll be in really good shape, because the axe synergy is pretty cool looking. It turns, I won't spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it yet. Appreciate y'all being on YouTube and in the chat, checking out the full screen experience. What do y'all think about this green screen setup that I got going today? I'm kind of proud of it. Obviously, it doesn't work with the pink hat as well, but if I have my blue hat on still, oh boy. Oh buddy, we'd be cooking with gas, I'll tell you what. Keep it moving to the right. Slow down and let garlic do its work when necessary. Got a huge cluster here that I can maneuver through, getting all these gems. So I'll do some light backtracking, but keep my overall movement tendency in the right direction. So we want the whip. Because I got the projectile bonus, the whip does not just go in one direction at first, which is great. Having the whip be bidirectional from the start is huge. It does good damage, and it goes through any number of enemies as it does its damage, so it's not the worst. It might be the best later on. Do I want Laurel? Nah. More whip. So now it's doing a third little whip at the end there. A lot of gems behind me because of how the crosses went out. Just patiently pick these up and level up as we go. Cross. Cross, whip, axe, and garlic are a good first 4 to start with here. Enemy is constantly closing in, but it's no problem because I've got a zone of pain around me. Nobody likes garlic in the vampire realms. Now we'll have the guaranteed synergy for the garlic. That's great. These candlesticks are maybe holding items, so I'm going to try to break as many candlesticks as I see. Some chicken. Wait up on these enemies, let them come to me. If you spend your whole time just running from enemies as opposed to killing them and getting the gems, you can get yourself kind of painted into a corner. Mummy, if I get to the side of them and slightly below, then the axes will do damage, and the whip, and the garlic all at once. And hopefully I can fell him pretty quick here. Get a treasure chest out of it. Maybe it'll be all 5. Nah, it's just a basic chest with a whip in it. No problem. I love this gameplay so much. I find it so soothing. It's super casual, right? You're just kind of moving around and making decisions as you move. It's like a baby roguelike. There's some randomization, but ultimately it doesn't take you too many runs to learn what weapons do what, and then you just experiment with loadouts. Marvel Werewolf? Yeah, Crab with a Cigarette's good people. Good to check out. I've got to finish that, breaking it up into instrumental chunks still. I got the vocal thing sent, but I got to get the loopable middles and beginnings and ends out. I will do that, though. Maybe even before I log off tonight. Just so freaking behind on things. Tomorrow might have to be like a no gaming Twitch stream and just me using the time to selfishly do a little house cleaning, get stuff uploaded to y'all on Patreon. I've got these beats that some of them I've even bounced down, and I just haven't found the 10 minutes to let me get some of these things uploaded. I tried downloading one of the Sunday shows from this past Sunday. But at the same time, I was trying to upload this other unlisted video to YouTube that I'm going to share with y'all later about a beat that I made in Koala, just kind of showcasing how I did it. This is a tough call. Let's do Rune Tracer, because there's always things to bounce off of. Keep pressing to the right. The Rune Tracer also kind of blazes trails for me through the enemies, which is nice. Like it doesn't have to, I don't have to be right on them in order to cut through them. Garlic game strong. Yeah, I didn't know there was a Marvel werewolf movie either. I knew there was Morbius. I hadn't heard about a werewolf. I'm definitely out of the loop on upcoming like Disney Kingdom releases, because that Wish thing I found out about on TikTok with people like roasting the song. Somebody said something along the lines of like, it's clear that they wanted to get Lin-Manuel Miranda style songs, but they didn't want to pay Lin-Manuel Miranda style money. Yeah, I think a body doubling stream is solid. Like, I might end up... I've got to do, like, not literal house cleaning, but definitely file cleanup. I was on my phone today. I shouldn't, like, sell myself too short. I freed up, like, 30, 40 gigs on my phone today by just being smart about clearing caches out of one video editing tool and then being really brutal in the other video editing tool, deleting videos that I no longer needed. Got enough space freed up that I can... hopefully comfortably like make stuff on the phone without worrying about filling up the phone for a while. And Purple Sharpie, who's on Twitch and in the fighting game community, was telling me that she uses Backblaze to manage the constantly growing library of video content that you end up coming out with just by virtue of doing this kind of work. It is fun to do it all together. Oh yeah, but it's all the same chores though, right? Like whether I'm sitting in a chair and whether I'm like trying to finish moving something from point A to point B. Like, oh, I've got the song, I just need to upload the song to the people who care the most about it. It's similar to like, I've got the laundry clean and it's even folded. I just have to carry the folded laundry into the room where it's gonna go and then do that last little bit of like categorization sorting work. Stone Mask chilling here. That's, do I want it? Do I want it? No. Yes, I do want more gold coins. Let's take it. Okay, nice. Werewolf at Midnight. I see. Yeah, I did not watch the Werewolf at Midnight video when I was doing my vibe analysis for the song to write. It's not the one I caught. Getting more cross. I need a clover to go with the cross. And then it turns the crosses all into like holy swords. It's pretty cool looking. They're very like vaporwave coated swords. The fire effect when you blow up those little explosive banshee witches things, that's a cool effect. Little swirling flames. These sound effects are so lovingly created. They feel old, but they're all mixed nicely, so you get the individual sounds playing. It's crisp, but old sounding. Now, the crown's actually dope, but you have to combine the crown with the pentagram. Because the experience that you're getting extra from the crown counteracts the experience that you lose when the pentagram wipes the screen in the early stages without leaving the gems behind. Then later on down the road, the pentagram upgrades and you get to keep the gems and just lose the enemies. And then at that point, you're leveling up super duper fast and clearing the screen once in a while, which is great. Alright, Poe. It's wild to me how well that video is going. Yeah, the swords don't feel like an upgrade to me either. They're like, they look nice. I know they do more damage on paper, but they don't always feel as good as an up. Like, that's a good call out, that like the swords don't hit much harder than the crosses to the point that you're like, oh, this is a whole different vibe. They do go a little faster though, which I think helps. Somebody tried to report my video today where I was making the joke about word stress in the sentences that involved PETA and dogs and the N-word. They hit report on the video. Those silly gooses, they had no idea that I was going to get it appealed almost immediately. Because I was doing a couple of chores, and then the second I got back from my chores and onto TikTok, I saw that it had been turned off for like 40 minutes. I hit appeal. I think within an hour of the report and shutting the video down, it was popped right back up. And then the best part is that the views have tripled on it since it's come back up. And I always feel like TikTok's playing with me. Like, sometimes I don't know if the video is ever going to be monetizable after it's demonetized for the sake of like being shut off from TikTok. Because basically that makes sense, right? You shouldn't be able to get like 1 million views on a video from being toxic and then get paid. Yeah, I really had fun with that video. I had fun making it. It was hard for me to not laugh when I was making it. That was actually like a 3rd or 4th take because it was literally hard for me to say the sentence over and over, just mechanically, but also to not laugh while I was doing it. Had a blast. And I think that when somebody gets a video reported and suppressed by the app, that the app will permanently turn off the ability to monetize the video. We're going to find out tomorrow, you know? I'll be able to look at the numbers and see pretty clearly, because that video outshone everything else that I did today. I'll be able to see if the money side of things gets affected by that. But it's all play money anyway, because TikTok decides how much I get paid per 1,000 views. So it doesn't, like, the numbers literally are not real, and I don't need to worry about them. I guess I'm going to take the no future instead of the swords. We're just going to keep the crosses. That's fine. That's the trade-off of grabbing the stone mask for the sake of quick gold coins, is I definitely will probably shorten this run by a good 10 minutes, just by virtue of not having enough maxed out items upgraded when these weapons need to be cutting through hardier enemies than I can cut through. It would be cool, though, if when they reinstate a video, it goes back into that creativity program and new views on the video still count. You know? Because then I'd be like, oh, I've got, like, 250,000 views on this video that was just a random sentence that popped into my head. It didn't really take a whole lot to make. It feels efficient. But the main benefit to a video getting reach like that is that I pick up hundreds of new followers every time. And then that's hundreds of new people that I can remind, like, I have a Patreon, I have a Bandcamp, I am supportable. Like, you can go to thirdperson.bandcamp.com, you can go to patreon.com/thirdperson. I could really make this my job. Like, you could really help me do this. Together, we could really make something beautiful happen in terms of, like, my kid eating food, and also having a dad that doesn't walk around like a ghost some days because of all of the stress from, like, day job stuff and all of the uncertainty of, like, is a boss gonna fire me? Because literally, this last job I got laid off in September, the job before that I got laid off in January, the job before that, if I had gotten hired 8 days sooner, if I had gotten hired sooner than my co-teacher, I would have been the one that got fired at that job. But at that job, I was the person that stayed on for another, I think, 6 months-ish, and had to do the work of 2 teachers. It's not good on any side of those equations, And the money is good, but at some point it stops feeling like it's that good. Because it's like, it comes at the expense of feeling like, oh, I can't ever not be on the computer. But also, sometimes somebody can just arbitrarily say, it's time for you to not be on the computer for months at a time and pretend that your favorite activity in life is being on the computer. Because as much as I enjoy doing this kind of streaming stuff and playing these kind of games, my favorite thing is still to, like, make some music on the guitar or figure out how the looping pedal works with the acoustic, or, you know, study kick patterns in rap songs that I really like, because I tend to use too many kicks in my loops. And I'm always trying to figure out which ones I can safely delete. Oh yeah, we got the fire breath. 10 seconds of beauty as we cut through all these enemies chasing me. I think another level on Pentagram, and it's going to stop killing all of the gems on the screen. Plus I have the crown, so it's going to be super Pentagram if I stay alive long enough. That's the goal. Thanks. I believe in me too. My partner believes in me. Like, we're really trying to turn it into like a family business. My kid has video editing skills. She has zero desire to do anything that she doesn't want to do in that moment. So I think it's impossible to overwork her. But there's definitely going to be weeks where she wants to put an hour or two into video editing, and we'll pay what a living wage would be for her to do video editing within the fam. Help my partner with the stuff that she doesn't know how to do video editing wise that my kids figured out that I've helped to teach her. That's a cool feeling. But also, just honestly, the coolest feeling for me is when my kid and I sit down and I have one of those pocket operator devices and she helps me dial in exactly how the drums need to sound and what the drum rhythms need to be. And then it's up to me to figure out like melody, harmony, arrangement. And then we can split the pay that comes in on Bandcamp from those. And then she gets to learn about like, oh, I can like get bigger stuff faster if I spend some time sitting down and making something that didn't exist before, as opposed to like playing with stuff that already exists and waiting for an allowance to kick in. She still does paint shoes when she can. Right now, honestly, her hands have been hurting a ton, and it's mostly been homemaking, domestic engineering, maintenance stuff that we've been into. Trying to get our house in order. We just cleaned the basement for real for the first time since we moved in. And that's been great. This is what happens when those axes get maxed out. I just get a spiral of scythes coming out from my character. Pow! It looks awesome. Let's level the whip. So yeah, there's that. And she also wants to do more blogging and writing this year, because she's gotten really good with her speech to text and has an easier time putting more thoughts on paper that way without hurting her hands. And of course, as a manager, like as somebody who helps me with time management and make sure I don't like forget to dot the I's and cross the T's on stuff, as somebody who can hunt down brand deals and things as a manager on like the back end of my product on social media, she hopes to be immensely helpful. And I know she's got the skills for that, because when I was rapping on stages, she was getting me a ton of shows just by being like the hustler that's off stage that I don't always let myself be. Everybody's got different skill sets, right? We're trying to use the ones that we've got as a family to not have to feel I'd rather just be exploited secondhand. Like, I'd rather just be like, damn, I wish that people could afford to tip us more, but I get it, it's hard out there. Or like, hey, not everybody has a job right now, I get it, it's hard out there. But like, I'd rather have that than like also personally be subjected to the it's hard out there, and then have the added effect of like, damn it, I got all these songs that I gotta get off. And as y'all have seen, it's hard for me to get the songs off whether I have all the time in the world or not. So that's a learnable skill that I intend to get better at, and like by being intentional about it, I think my partner is going to be really helpful in helping me to own a schedule for myself And that's why I wanted to go up and say goodnight and tuck her in, because, like, she pushed really hard to the end of the day. I never want it to feel like any sort of animosity or that my free time comes at the expense of hers or vice versa, because we're really in it together in a big way. Homeschooling is very hard, and it feels like it's very slow going. But then I see all these TikToks by public school teachers that are like, we need to do serious interventions for every single one of these kids. They are all struggling to a kid, and it's hard to teach them shit. And then I'm like, oh, cool. Not just us. Not cool in the sense of, like, the future of society. But I still believe my kid's going to have a leg up by virtue of only having caught COVID, I think, twice in her entire life, as opposed to, 8 or 9 times. We got that new vax. We're vaxxed up. It's a good vibe. It's a very exciting time. I think it will be an awesome future for us. I think people will keep signing up to the Patreon, because it's already, like, we got to 100 strong last week, and now it's already over, like, 120, I think, over, like, 110 paid. And that's going to keep growing. And I think I'm going to be able to help it grow even faster once I get some balls rolling here. I'm actually about to log off soon so I can, like, own up on these promises to myself. Because what I'm finding is that it's the morning hours that I really get the most traction. Yeah, kids have been failed. Absolutely, just fucking... The way that the emergency shit, like, they stopped paying for emergency, like, state of emergency on COVID. And then the day after they stopped paying for it, they were like, oh, and by the way, better make sure you're ventilating any indoor area every 5 minutes, 12 times an hour, fully replacing the air in the area. That's what we know is going to be the safest to protect people from getting COVID over and over until they have heart attacks in their teens. But they knew that the day before, and they didn't, like, fully fund it as part of a state of emergency. It feels criminal to me. It would be like if I had, like... It would be like if I sold you an Airbnb to, like, come and stay at my crib for the weekend, and then the second you showed up, I was like, oh, by the way, thanks for your long-awaited vacation money that I've known about months in advance. By the way, both of the toilets are clogged, and I accidentally melted a bunch of plastic in the oven, so you're going to have to handle that. Also, the window in the kitchen above the sink doesn't close, and it gets super, super drafty. And the fireplace has a crack, so if you try to use the fireplace, you're going to get carbon monoxide poisoning. Have fun! It's like just a complete abandonment of responsibility to people. No longer funding it, and then they just change the maps so that it looks like it's safe, but the infection numbers are still really rough. And so many more people were dying like a few months ago from it. And like the response was, we're going to send out these like slightly expired COVID tests because we haven't even had the demand for the COVID tests get high enough that we should make more of them. We're just going to give you the ones that like you might not be comfortable using, but we'll assure you are still good. I just think that like if we have billions of dollars to blow kids up, we could get newer tests. I'm not even saying if we have billions of dollars to blow kids up, we could get universal health care, because I understand how expensive universal health care is. That would involve like restructuring of tax things, minting $1 trillion coin, all that kind of stuff. But I'm just talking about like, how much is $100 million worth of COVID tests at wholesale? I'd wager that like whatever demand there is on COVID tests, you could probably meet that. And maybe not even with 100 mil. Maybe it would take like 300 mil or whatever. But that's still less than 1 billion. We're sending like $14 billion to Israel and then turning around and acting like we have no impact on what they do. Sorry, I mean, our hands are tied. It's weird that our hands are tied. Wouldn't you say they're cuffed with golden handcuffs that we put on our fucking selves? That we smelted from back-breaking toil that workers did, working for companies that were getting subsidized? So they didn't have to give their workers enough to buy their own food themselves? It just feels like a quadruple scam a lot of the time. People are getting fed up. And the kids, man, that's like the main shit that like really throws it all into super sharp relief. Because we don't want to have really, really strong labor unions lobbying for things like universal child care, unlimited vacation time and PTO in the case of a pandemic, that kind of stuff, then we have this shitty situation where like, oh well, you don't know where to put your kid. You know, if you decided to be safe on behalf of your kid, where do you put them other than a school? They'd have to be at home. Well, if they have to be at home, then you have to be at home. But you can't be at home because your boss reads The Atlantic, and they're like, actually, going back to work is going to work like it's going to work like 5 Wellbutrin and 2 Ativan every day for you. What you really need is an office in your life. Isn't an office kind of like Mama's cookout? Get yourself a plate at the office. Trying to sell it like a racially offensive McDonald's commercial. But yeah, the kids are not as safe. Yeah, it'd be super cool if the Patreon like hit a tipping point and popped off. I'm thinking, take care, good night. I'm gonna hop off at a few here. Like after this run is gonna be this is gonna be my last run. See now the pentagram's paying off because I got all these gems I can just go scoop every time the stage gets cleared like that. More health. Give me more than that. Oh, I'll take it. I'll take that. This is the Uber pentagram. Happens faster. And I think it even draws things into me. Why not? I think if I really wanted my podcast to get super numbers, I would have to return to like the podcast grind possibly, and figure out how to do that on a weekly basis on top of everything else. I'd need to get really serious about laundry in particular and not letting it linger or pile up and slow me down. And I also need to get serious about weekend food prep. Like the chili this weekend was definitely a magnificent call. Because that's going to be my breakfast all week. My family needs to have distinct foods every day. But I don't. I can have the same thing every day, no problem. Really, it's my partner that needs to have different foods more often. My kid and I could live off of chips and cheese and ramen for 80% of our meals and be just happy as clams. Because she eats raw veggies just as snacks. She'll walk around with like a cucumber or like a quarter of a head of lettuce, just munching, a bunch of kale. She's cool with it. Blasted him. Uber pentagram is dope as hell. What are we gonna get now? Maybe the no future? Yep. All these gems everywhere. Get sucked in because of my pentagram power, helping me to level up faster. Not that there's much to level up into, but I'll take the health regen. Hey, what's up, Gromble? Nice to see you. Gromble's a good name. I love Real Monsters. The whole vibe of that show is so good. I honestly think that, like, in a lot of ways, Monsters Incorporated ripped off Real Monsters. Like, the whole mechanic of, like, how well you scare people is going to make you well-known or a celebrity. And certainly Monsters University. I think that Real Monsters definitely crawled so that Monsters University could jog or possibly like shuffle along. I don't think it really ran. The cool part about Monsters University was the race, that Sully thought that he could win by himself on behalf of the team, only to find that like it only counts if the whole team gets to do it together. If the whole team hasn't crossed the finish line, then you haven't crossed the finish line yet. Which I feel like is just such a good solidarity message. It's nice to see you on the stream. I'm happy y'all are here too, TikTok. I appreciate you. Yeah, the disappearing body parts. I am not on Twitch right now. I'm on YouTube right now. If the description says that I'm on... Oh, you know what it is? I bet you the About Me says that I'm on Twitch. Because I forgot to change all of the things on the live. And I forget that people tend to scroll here. My bad. I know what I did now. I forgot to change the About Me. Sorry, I'm still kind of a baby at a lot of this stuff. And I don't always get all of the details right. I'm not on Twitch. I'm on YouTube, third person. And I'm chilling with my Patreon supporters and everybody else right now. It's a public stream on the YouTube. But I'm going to be hopping off in no less than 2 minutes and no more than 9 minutes. Just looking at the clock at the top of the screen here and estimating my skill floor. The sky's the limit, baby. I might get all the way up to 30 minutes with this loadout. The whip's whipping. The crosses are crossing. The sides are scything. My weird anti-pentagram is playing the theme song from the movie Hook. Bling, 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 bling. Bling, 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 bling. Hook's music is really, really good. There were a lot of bad 90s movies, but there were enough really, really good, like S-tier 90s movies that happened right before we started squandering all of our money to go and do an offensive war where we shouldn't have been in the first place. That like really make it look like the 90s was like the end of an era for children's movie entertainment. You just didn't have stars like Robin Williams doing kid movies anymore. Like, I'm trying to think of maybe Spy Kids, but like, you could definitely argue that the adult leads in Spy Kids are not, they weren't heroes of kids. But I think that Robin Williams, like, by doing stuff like Jack, like, he did a lot of kids movies. It wasn't just Hook. Did Bicentennial Man, he did Jack. I think you could argue that like Mrs. Doubtfire was like a teen movie. Maybe not necessarily like a kid's movie. But it was definitely a movie that like you'd watch that was PG-13 that you'd be allowed to watch before you were 13. Because it was like heartfelt and wholesome. Oh, it's a guy trying to cook a dinner. How's that gonna work? That kind of shit. Also, like, just a movie celebrating that you can lie to your ex-wife for weeks on end, and you can sort of, like, sneak into her home, but you can still win her heart. A lot of romantic comedies in the 90s were, like, of the form, what is a crime that a guy could do that's actually kind of romantic? And then the guy would just do the crime over and over until the romance was perceived. About to get another pentagram bonus. Work on this witch. Getting some good gold here. I think on mobile there's a way to like select a box when the level up happens and go, I actually only want to get this upgrade for the rest of my playthrough. I wonder if I have that in here and I've just not been looking. My eyes are definitely starting to crust over. They say that, oh, the Gromble? Sorry, that's Our Real Monsters. The Gromble's their school teacher. 4 red high-heeled feets, right? But yeah, like, I found out because of this DJ shit. Did you hear about this DJ that, like, blinded the crowd? Got some, like, germicidal UV lights that did, like, shortwave UVC, UVA, not UVA or UVB, but UVC. Yeah, this game's awesome. I love this game so much. But some DJ used the wrong fluorescent lights and cooked people's eyes. Like, they have, like, cornea sunburns, basically, from going to this show. Not just, like, regular, like, ouch, the light was too bright, it hurt my eyes, but the light was, like, radiating into people's eyes and causing a burn on the skin of the eye itself. And the thing I read said that the skin of the eye itself actually regenerates hella fast. And that every night when you get eye boogers, a lot of your eye boogers are just shed cornea skin. Which I had no idea. This game is called Vampire Survivors. And we're at the end of a 30-minute survival run. Typically in a level you get 30 minutes. I want to kill this witch. The witch is like a boss. There it is. Give me money. Give me a lot of money. Just one money? All I got was one money? Weak. Suboptimal. Blasted everybody. Get the coin back. Oh yeah, let me see. Yeah, there's no way for me to just like auto-select money in this version. Mobile version lets you go like, don't ask me again. I only want money. I'll never want chicken at this stage. 28 minutes, 10 seconds. Every level that you can get to the 30-minute mark on potentially unlocks new level content. There's different enemies of different strengths with different tendencies that show up in different levels. But it's generally like this, right? Like sort of like a Geometry Wars style onslaught of enemies that you have to do a little bit of thumbstick magic to avoid, while also upgrading weapons in a way that synergizes together with the help items that you get and upgrade to make you hell of strong. Give me some candlesticks to break so I can get more gold coins. Keep the gold moving. Yes. Just making a bet there's one down here, but there's not. Oh, a chest I missed. More gold. Got about 5,000 from this run, not bad. A respectable number. It'll be enough for me to unlock at least 2, if not all 3 of those characters that I haven't unlocked yet. I think the price to unlock a character stays fixed. Right now I'm just powering through, guys, to see if I can find another item on the map. These exploders, though, are going to kill me off for real. This Medusa's doing heavy damage. Pum might not make it to 30 minutes. I'm going to try to stay put and see if I can, like, tiptoe my way through this. Oh, it's going to be so close. Can I level up and get a chicken? Floor chicken! Ah! I got stuck on geometry. Much like a lot of sophomores when I was in high school. 10 seconds left. I'm going to make it. I'm going to survive to death. We'll take coins. Coins again, coins again, coins again, coins again. It's a mega upgrade. Just tons of coins after coins. And here's death. And I'm dead. That's it. That's Vampire Survivors. It's so good. Such a fucking good game. I got the pentagram to level 7, so I unlocked another character. I got 500 gold coins by evolving the whip and the pentagram that game. See, I haven't done these things for the first time in this version of the game. I'm not going to do another run. I'm just going to unlock characters. Sick. Maybe the witch next time with the cats. Because the projectiles move faster every level. That's a cool power to play with. And then maybe we'll spend our power-ups before I log off. This has been very fun. My voice is tired. My brain is sleepy. I'm going to do my best to wake up early and get a nice early start on the day. Also, tomorrow is probably my easiest day to get things done before lunch. Because not only does my kid have her regular horse class, because that was off for the last 2 weeks while the staff had their break time, but she also gets to, I don't have enough for that, not quite. She also has a pediatrician appointment tomorrow, so my partner's going to take her to both of those, and that'll free me up to stream without the fam at hand. And I know they're going to be just fine. I don't have to, like, hover them or anything. Just take those. So yeah, I'll be on more. How do you strategize self-medication with ADHD meds? So right now I'm not doing either because I was trying to get on Vyvanse for the last 3 months and I can't drop clean from THC. I've used too much for too long in my life. So I guess one way to manage self-medication is not to manage it at all, to just like find something that you can't overdose on, like cannabis, and hit it as hard as you can, as often as you can, until you are the cannabis, and you can never get it out of your bloodstream. But the flip side to it is that it's just a matter of whether you are slightly zoned out or merely just like awake and calmer. There's not really like a point that you're not a little stoned, and there's not a point that you're ever out of your capacity mentally. So then within that paradigm, got a lot of play. But yeah, when I was using cannabis and Vyvanse at the same time, I found that I didn't need to use as much cannabis because the Vyvanse was covering a lot of dopamine that I've been self-medicating cannabis for. Um, and then I guess strategizing, like my strategy right now is that I'm literally about to start trying Strattera, I think, because my doctor will write me for it. I know that not everybody gets written for it. It could potentially fuck with my kidneys. Um, I have a tendency to sit down here for hours on end without taking breaks and going upstairs to go to the bathroom. That has to stop. That's a behavior that I'm kind of scared about. If I continue, that it's going to be exacerbated by the most common side effect of Strattera, which is that the kidney doesn't empty adequately. Um, and that you can't, don't, or sorry, the bladder doesn't empty adequately, and that can cause kidney issues. So I don't want to get kidney issues. I don't want anything junk style to get messed up. But yeah, priapism is a side effect, which can like, it sounds like a joke from grade school, but it can actually mess up your whole junk situation. Don't want that to happen to me. Um, and it's possible that after taking it for a month, which is about how long it takes to titrate into the system and where you feel like it's actually working or don't, I'm worried that I'm not going to actually feel like it's working after I've taken it for a month. The benefit to Strattera, though, is that it's not a controlled substance. So if I can make it agree with me and I can hydrate through it and I can do all the things, then I will be able to unlimitedly self-medicate again the way that I like to. The DJ, I don't know. Yeah, the DJ that I was talking about, if you're still watching me, and I think you are, Hex, I don't know if the DJ was a person on TikTok. I heard about the DJ blinding people on Blue Sky, and I don't know if they have a TikTok presence. But I think it happened yesterday, and that was like a weird thing. But yeah, like, Strattera could really be the thing that I need. It could be the perfect med for me, but since August, I've been really stubborn and I haven't started taking it because I was concerned about the side effects. And I really thought that, like, hey, I'll take a month. I won't smoke. My partner does sometimes. But hey, that's fine. Even if she needs to be up in the middle of the night smoking, I'll simply just not sleep in the comfortable bed in the house that I could sleep in. I'll sleep on a couch and fuck my back up. Or I'll sleep downstairs on a small mattress and potentially fuck my back up. Or just not get as good of sleep. But I thought, yeah, this will be worth it for like a month. But then a month passed, and I took a home test, and it said I was still positive. And then another month passed, and I took a home test, and it said I was like softly negative. So then mid October, I did a urinalysis in the lab, and it said I was still testing positive for THC. And indeed, that I was testing more positive than I was in May of this year when I first tested to be on Vyvanse at the new doctor. Because the other doctor that I had been getting Vyvanse from was like, I'm going to test you. And if I test you, I'm going to take you off of it. Because people in West Michigan are just really backwards about Vyvanse and cannabis. Um, but yeah, I tested it like 20 nano whatevers per whatever in May. And then I tested it like 43 in mid October. And then I just went back and tested last week and tested back down to 20 again. So it does look like it's sharply falling, but I don't, like, at this point, I haven't been sleeping in my bed since summer. Just for the fuck shit of like, I would like to be on a good ADHD med, please. And so after getting this most recent positive result, I'm just like, fine. At this point, I want to see if Strattera works, because as bad as the side effects would be, I already know how bad the side effects are on my life from not having that like closeness with my partner on a nightly basis. Um, yeah, the thing is, like, I don't know, like my whole philosophy on self-medication is that I've been calibrating it for years and years. Like since I was 20 years old. Thanks, Wilther, I appreciate you. Since I was 20, I've been experimenting with like what cannabis does for me in social situations, creative situations, for my sleep schedule, for my appetite when I'm feeling like I don't think about food for too long. Um, and that happens to me sometimes. Don't let the size of me fool you. But the way I feel about it is that some strains that I smoke can definitely up my anxiety or give me a sense of panic that's not real. But I always have a sense of panic that is real when I'm not on a good ADHD med, because I'm aware of the things that I'm letting slip through the cracks. I'm aware of how time kind of stops existing between 12:30 and 5:30 p.m. most days. and I can't account for anything getting done during that time, except for like if I'm doing like a maintenance chore or something just to keep things from moving backwards. But like, I want to move things in my life forwards, and I want to do it at a better clip and not feel like I'm slow and not feel like I'm irresponsible or scattered. And so far, the best combo that I found was when I was able to use Vyvanse and weed at the same time. Because then I had a really solid like dopamine underpinning, but then to the extent that like the Vyvanse was going to make me feel jittery or going too fast, I could always like take the edge off of that a little bit. And once again, to do it in a way that I've been doing for almost half of my life at this point. And the thing that kills me is that like a patient that's been self-medicating with a Schedule 1 substance like cannabis is not considered to be an expert in the self-medication. Like those years that you've spent just don't count. Like one time I was going for a tech job, and this isn't even, it's not even about the drug. This is just an analogy. But I was going for a tech job with a government employer, and they asked me if I had ever gotten a degree in software engineering or in computer science. I said, no, I don't have a degree. I simply have several years of experience actually doing it for companies and teaching other people how to do it. And they said, that's fine, but however many years you've spent, we're going to subtract 4 years because you didn't do the whole school thing. So they arbitrarily subtracted 4 years from my record and said, because of this, you actually don't meet our experience qualifications. So they just had a system where they arbitrarily said, fuck it, forget about it. And I think that like that felt kind of unfair. And I feel like the years that I've spent figuring out like when in the day and when in the week for that matter, I don't need to be fucking with edibles. Like I don't fuck with edibles on a daily basis. Concentrates are great because they work really, really well for a short period of time, and then there's a decent long tapering off period. You don't fuck your lungs up, you don't fuck your vocal range up. I fuck with concentrates in moderation. Um, I like a bowl now and again, a joint now and again, depending on how bad the shake is that I'm rolling into the joint. But like, there's different things for different times of the day and different amounts of chaos, and the way that like my autistic gut felt brain processes it all. I'm always aware of like where I'm at and what I need. And there's definitely days that I'm like, oh, you know what? I hit it a little too hard today. I was worried about something happening in the afternoon, and I let the time that I was like smoking fuck me up. I don't think weed pens are bad per se, but like I think the hazard with a weed pen is that it's very easy to overdo with something that's like in your pocket all the time that you can always take a pull off of. So I've experimented with like the pens and the cartridges. Also, the thing with cartridges is unless you are getting a cartridge from somebody that's like locally growing and processing the stuff and that you can really trust the grower and like they have a good pedigree and the all the people at the dispensary vouch for them and all that stuff, it's possible you're getting some like counterfeit shit or some like adulterated shit. And the cartridge model is that you're going to throw really hot air into your throat, which doesn't really work for me as a vocalist. As it is, I struggle to stay hydrated enough as, you know. But yeah, like, I live in Michigan where, like, not only are we allowed to have it recreationally, we're allowed to grow it. You're allowed to grow, I want to say 12 plants per person. It's either 6 plants per adult or 12 plants per adult. I think it might be 6 plant per adult. If you get good at growing and you understand your nutrient levels and your light levels and your schedules and all that stuff, you can pull half a pound off of each plant times 6. If you had like 3 pounds of weed for a year, that's 48 ounces. I could get by on 48 ounces over the course of a year. I might still be re-upping once in a while. We smoke heavy when we're both smoking, but you know, I feel like it's my prerogative to figure out where the balance is. And honestly, for the last few months, not being able to have anything to boost my focus or my energy level to stay focused throughout the day, and also not being able to, it's not even about being high. It's like not being able to be close to my partner when she's medicating her pain, which is when it's nice to be there to like hold her hand, to be sitting next to her. If I want to do that, I have to be wearing like a heavy double mask situation because I'm trying to keep the smoke out of my lungs so I can drop clean. And that's like the realization that I had today was like, it's been 3 months. I haven't touched it except to roll it into joints and to like lick the little flecks that are on the paper when I'm like sealing them up. I haven't had it in my system. I haven't been sleeping in my bed. And I don't want to have one season out of 4 every year where I'm living life that separated from the person I love the most just for the sake of being on this ADHD med over this other ADHD med. So that's where it all comes together for me. I don't really fuck with acid. I never have. I definitely would fuck with it, but it's just never been my thing. Mushrooms are great though. I think they're fantastic. Uh, but yeah, I haven't messed with acid ever. I had a coworker once when I taught at Code Boot Camp who would sometimes microdose before he had a heavy lecturing day to see what it did for his lecturing technique. I think he found it was generally good for his lecturing technique, or at least good for his enjoyment. Yeah, carts will dry your ass out. Edibles can dry your ass out too, strangely. We got the Puffco Proxy, and I fucked up cleaning it. I let it like get warm enough to clean, and then I only half took it apart and then let it cool down. And it fucked up the gold pin that holds together the chamber to the base unit itself. So I had to get a warranty replacement, and that's on the way in the next few days here. And I think that by the time it arrives, I will probably have had my first couple Strattera doses, and I'll probably have been able to sleep in the bed. And that would be so much better for my quality of sleep and my duration of sleep um, than I've been sleeping. And I haven't been making a big deal out of it, but it feels like it's just been this low grade, shitty feeling of like, oh, cool, bust my ass at work. Time to go to bed on the couch. And then, oh, lost my job. Time to figure out how to be a content artist, multimedia person full time. But also not able to be as close to my family. That's not been good. That sucks. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. But yeah, the proxy slaps. I don't even have any attachments for it. We just got like the basic proxy and it still slaps. It's I think that it's just as good as the Peak or the Peak Plus in terms of like the burn quality, but it's much lighter in the hand, so my partner's hands don't get as tired as quickly. And that's, I think, just that alone is the reason that the proxy slaps. But I'm thinking for Christmas, if I've got the loot or if I manage to find a new tech gig before the holidays really fully get over, I'm trying to get her the bubbler chamber thing because she likes bubblers a lot. I think that would be neat. Do I still have audio here? I do. Super dope. I'm gonna close with a rap and then I'm gonna head off. Yeah, I feel that. They can definitely look more sus. More often than not, I walk in the spot with astonishing swagger. I'm wrapped in a garment establishing a popular fashion for cats with a father that's blacker, but the mama don't match him. I only rock them because mulattoes look awesome in jackets. It's a flawless advantage. These rappers dress for the job that they have, and I dress for the job that I want, so I smash them. I am not you. I am not from this planet. This is my costume. I'm like Clark in these glasses. It's metropolis status. Cal elements of hip-hop. I'm in the thrift shop, not for the mackle, but for the racks that hold the choppers at Rogers Abandoned. If I find what I'm after, I cop and I vanish. Understand how uncharted this land is? I'm defining the standard. Baby artists try to rock in a smock with some Pampers. Lazy toddlers and color matching Gorilla palettes can go crawl with their tantrums. God, but I'm handsome. Hang on, what did I say? It was like lazy toddlers and color matching animal palettes can crawl on with their tantrums. My God, but I'm handsome. That's what it was. That's like a fashionista song, right? These rappers dress for the job that they have, and I dress for the job that I want, so I smash them. It's a very silly thing to say, to assert that, like, your fashion makes you a better rapper. I'm trying to think. What was the classic Sean Price lyric? He said, "Do Sean, can't beat me, motherfucker, your shoes wrong. Boot camp for life, B. 9 times out of 10, you can catch me in Nikes." I'll see you on Twitch tomorrow. Third person at 10 a.m. I am going to be hopefully done uploading some of these audios and videos that I've got scattered across various devices that I've been trying to get up to Patreon and having failure to launch shit because also this evening I had inexplicable cutoffs in my internet where it just would not, my phone would not connect. My kid was reporting that she couldn't watch YouTube stuff correctly. My partner was reporting that she couldn't do her shit. And I'm wondering, I think it might be the VPN that's fucking shit up because I did not turn this VPN on today, but it's on right now. And I wonder if the VPN being on the computer that's hardwired to the router is causing it to act fucky.